It is a glorious day.
Oh, it is. Right. Right. Morning, Bob.
Morning.
I'm Andy.
Oh, hi, Andy.
I'm an instructor for today.
Righty ho.
And today we're going to do a lesson on controls.
All right, okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive to a safe training area.
Okay.
And then we'll swap seats and we'll go through the controls with you. So you'll be in a position to drive the car safely and under full control.
Oh, okay.
On the way to the training area, if you take note of how I'm driving,
All right.
in particular how I use the steering wheel, the controls such as the indicators, the gear lever, and if you can, watch my feet movement to see how smoothly I'm using the controls. So if you can concentrate on what I'm doing, don't be distracted by things outside the car, and just watch how I'm driving.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so first thing I have to do is what's called a cockpit drill. So I just need to check the car setup for myself. So there's a couple of things I need to check. I'm checking that both doors are closed properly, and I can see that both sides of the car I've got one solid line down the flank of the car. We'll go through this in more detail when we get to the training area. And just briefly go through what I'm checking. So I'm checking checking my seat, so it's at the right height to give me good visibility out to the windscreen and through the side windows, and also that I've got good control for the pedals, and I should be able to press down the clutch pedal fully right to the floor but still have a bend in my knee. Now I'm just going to adjust this one, move it backwards. There's a control lever under the seat. I'm just releasing it, clicking it into place. Happy with that. The steering wheel I'm going to adjust because for me I need it just a little bit closer to myself, so there's a little lever underneath, locking lever, and I can adjust it in and out, up and down to a suitable position. And I've just got it so I can just press my wrist over the top so I know it's just at the right position. And I can feed the steering wheel as I need it. So I'm happy that's locked in place. Okay. I'll check, I'm doing this wrong sequence now. Out of roller set.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, we'll reset the whole scene.
Yep. Morning, Bob. I'm Andy. I'm an instructor
Andy.
today, and today we're going to cover a lesson on controls.
All right.
So we'll go through all the controls, what everything does, how we use the controls, and for this I'm going to go to a nice, safe, quiet area.
All right.
Out of the way, and we'll swap seats and we'll go through all the controls for you so you've got full understanding of how the car works. Before we get there, obviously I've got to drive you to that area, but before we set off we have to carry out what's called a cockpit drill. Right. That's just making the car is all safe, everything's set up so I can use the controls safely and smoothly. So firstly, I've got into the car, I'm just checking the doors are closed. So just checking down the flanks of the car, and in the mirrors I can see that there's a solid black line, which I'll explain when we get to the training area. So I'm happy the doors are shut, the interior light's gone out. I'm just checking the handbrakes on. Excuse me, Bob. Checking the handbrakes on so the car's secure. Now next I have to check the seat, so it's at the right position for me, so I can use the controls and reach everything safely to control the car.
All right.
Okay, so I'm setting the seat up for my driving position. I'll do that by using a lever under the seat. Sometimes they're located on the side, but again I'll go through that in more detail. What I'm after is being able to push down the pedal, the clutch pedal, safely, still with a slight bend in my knee, but comfortably. So I'll just adjust that again, lock it into place. I'm happy with that. Now I'll check the steering wheel, that I can operate that comfortably. I can reach it, it's at the right height, but if needs be I can adjust the height and the position of the steering wheel using a control underneath, which again I'll go through when we get to the training area. So I'm happy with that. We need to check our seat belts. So we'll put our seat belts on. Now, have you been in a car before? Have you used seat belts before?
Yeah.
So you're happy with how to put seat belts on? So we just use, feed the belt out the left arm, lock it into place on my side, just checking it, happy that it's comfortable, and then just do a static check. but it will work if we do have to stop
Right.
in an emergency. So if you can pop your seatbelt on. Okay, do that. Make sure, just give it a little test. Make sure it's. Give it a little pull like that to lock. Yep. So we're happy that's working. Okay. Next thing I need to do is just set up the mirrors.
All right.
So obviously I need to be able to see what's happening behind me as well as what's happening out to the front. Again, I'll go through this in more detail. So I'm setting this up for. So I've got a clear view out of the rear view mirror to what's happening to the back, and then both door mirrors show me what's happening down the sides of the vehicle, and obviously any vehicles following. Okay, just that roll.
Okay.
What have I missed? I've missed something.
Have you? I think I'll just replay it.
Doors,
Door, seat, steering.
steering wheel, mirrors. Okay. Headrest. Yeah. Yes.
Head restraint.
Head restraint. Yeah. So that's before mirrors. Yeah. So check the steering. So in modern cars now we have head restraints, which are these here. I need to make sure that these are positioned correctly. I don't just keep sort of referring to. We'll cover this when we get to training.
We'll go into a bit more detail when we get there.
We'll cover that in more detail when we get to the training area. Okay. But if you could just check that, just put your head back for me. Okay. Now, if that was in the wrong position before we set off the instructor,
Make it adjust it.
yeah. I think you need to put yours up just a little bit, Bob. Right, on this particular model, there's a little button there on the side, but you should be able to pull up the. Is it locked into place on these? Oh, slightly different that way. Right.
How's that?
That's better. That's better. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now we're going to head off to the training area.
Oh, okay. Okay, just before you do, how was that?
Oh, but it didn't flow as well as I wanted it to.
Okay. How were you feeling as you were doing it?
Just nervous at the minute.
Okay. I mean, obviously I can feel that coming across.
Yeah.
What could you do to help set up differently, do you think? So I've been bearing in mind that if you're slightly nervous here, because we've got the camera on, there's a bit of pressure coming up, on the day of the test you'd probably be a little bit more nervous. Is there anything you could do different to prepare to help you with that?
I'm going to try that breathing exercise.
Maybe have a drink, maybe have a mint. I can't give you what the answer is. You can sort of think about it for yourself. It's sometimes just having a little drink and just calm and make sure you've had a good night's sleep, that you're properly fed, and that you're properly hydrated. That never hurts. You're never going to perform worse because you're better hydrated or better fed, unless of course you've had a 9-course meal and you're falling asleep. So it's just, I think mental preparation is the most important thing. The breathing exercise will help to just lower the heart rate a little bit. You just notice a little bit, you get a little bit of a, when you get really nervous, you get a little bit of a, not a twitch, but just a little tremor on the end of the finger. So I just picked that up before. So the breathing exercise might or might not change that. It's worthwhile experimenting with it while we're on training. And then it's something you've got locked in your tool bag to think, right, okay, if I'm feeling that little, like I'm rushing, a couple of places where I just felt you just started to rush a little bit, and the tempo and pitch of your voice went up. So that tells me that, okay, you're on edge a little bit, which is fine.
So which bits was that? Where did I start to change?
At the point, you're probably not going to pick it up from this camera. At the point where you started to adjust the steering, you had your hand on there. Just notice the ends of your fingers. It's not a twitch. It's more like a nervous energy.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that after we go through this week,
you cough when you're nervous as well.
Right.
When you're not nervous, you don't do it. Just an observation, but it just they're warning signs to yourself that hang on a second, because you're never going to stop yourself being nervous, but you can manage it. So if you think, oh, I'm starting to cough a little bit, you just not coughing, you're sort of clearing your throat a lot. If that's happening, you know that your heart rate's probably picked up. Just physically slow yourself down, or mentally, either way. But just try and think about just ease the pace down a little, because that can cause chaos. So if you start speaking too quick, and then you start getting a bit more nervous, you start speaking a bit quicker, and then you start tripping yourself over, and it's...
As I'm getting nervous, my throat starts to dry, and
that's right, that's right. So it's just little signs, and you know, to be honest, on the day of the test, the most important part of anything is mental preparation, just getting your head in the right place, because if your head's in the right place, you'll perform well. So it isn't just about looking at the technical aspects; it's looking about the you know, managing yourself.
Well, you've got to present yourself, haven't you? So.
You have, and you want to make a good show of it. You know, if he's sat there thinking, "What are you coughing for? What are you doing that for?" I mean, the examiner here isn't like that, but you know, it could have an effect. But it's just early warning signs to yourself that you're not on an even keel, and just notch it down a bit, just make things a little even paced. Pause in between saying, and make sure you get a good breath. I mean, it's all, naturally you're going to be nervous, and they're used to it, but it's just appreciating the signs and being able to work with them and thinking, all right, okay, I'm a bit nervous here. I need to manage that. The sort of stuff you do as a competitive musician, you understand that you've got a big solo to play. You're going to be nervous, so there's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing to stop the nerves happening. You just got to manage it. Think, right, what can I do? Distract yourself. You're distracting the conscious mind, basically. Breathing exercises, or counting to 10, or whatever it happens to be, or just doing things a slightly different way. Whatever it is, you need a little security blanket. Okay. Yeah, your go-to place.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll drop back in a roll and drive us to where we're going.
Okay. So I've carried out my checks, and now I'm going to drive to the training area. Okay.
Nothing wrong with what you've done, by the way. It's all very nice, but it's just notice these little bits and pieces that things we might.
Well, that's good, and that's the beauty of this, because then I can review it and
you'll spot it straight away.
well, I remember the covering bits.
So back in the roll. We go left out of the car park.
Okay. Would you, on this part, on the drive before you, like on the advanced one, would you do a static handbrake test?
Just set it up the way you're used to setting it up. Talk them through what you do, if you like. You know.
Because we go through it when
you're going to go through it when you get there, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But if you're more comfortable doing that.
I was thinking if it's something you're going to teach somebody going forward as your cockpit drill, you know, are you going to cover the brake?
Well, my cockpit drill would include, okay, before I start anything, I've had a good look around the outside of the vehicle. There's no fluids leaking.
Yeah.
The tyres are in good condition and properly inflated. The suspension seems to be sat right. As a good driver, you should be thinking about that all the time. As I get in the car, I've got my cockpit drill set up, and I'd go through my ROSPA thing, put the key in the ignition.
That's what I'm saying. Monitor functions are there.
That should come on have come on. The ones that should go out have gone out. So that's my self-test of the engine management systems.
Yeah. Covering the foot brake.
Make sure I've got handbrake neutral and notice the pressure on the brakes.
Yeah. Happy with that. Monitor functions have been.
Yeah, there's no squidginess. As I start the engine, I'm putting a bit of pressure on the steering, a little bit of pressure on the brake. As I start, I note now that I've got vacuum assist on the brakes and I've got power steering working. The car, I've got plenty of fuel for the journey. The car is now set up really well.
That's the one thing I don't do, isn't it? You just put a...
So now you know that the power steering's working. You've got vacuum assist on the brakes.
Yeah.
Little thing, especially if it's a car you're not used to. And then of course you check all of that, and I'll do a static brake check as soon as the car's moving. Or you might say, I've performed my checks on the car. I did that on my latest ROSPA test. I just said to Kevin, I've performed all the checks on the car. Would you like me to go into detail how I did it? Nah, that's fine. He said, well, he also said, well, there's no need for us to do a reverse exercise either. He says, because from the office I watched you reverse in the bay.
Okay.
And left out of the car park.
Looking towards the cabin, Bob, and watch what I'm doing with the controls.
All right.
Pay attention to how I use the steering and the foot controls. You know, it's doing everything nice and smooth, not rushing anything.
Right on the traffic lights.
Nice gentle grip on the steering wheel, the 10 to 2 position. Split spin now. So used to the car sounds. Apologise now for putting the indicator on late.
Left at the next traffic lights. Just popping in a roll. What is it you want to draw my attention to?
I like to see how smooth I use the controls. So, right, okay, so
Back and roll.
okay, if you notice when I'm pulling up at any junction or the traffic lights, Bob, how smooth it is. The car's
Yeah,
not
I did, yeah.
jolting,
I mean, my friend's cars, it's not like that.
and with the gear changes, it's nice and smooth. Again, you're not feeling the car jolt at all.
Alright. No, I'm not, no.
So everything's nice and gentle, nothing rushed.
Is that this car then?
Well, that's down to the driving.
Is it? Alright.
With practice, anybody can drive extremely smoothly.
Right.
It's just in the early days, obviously, until we get used to the controls, it may be a little bit jerky, but hopefully we'll get you so you're driving smoothly from day one.
Alright.
Okay.
So I don't know anybody who drives smooth like that. Right at the end of the road.
Well, maybe they haven't had the opportunity to have the training that you're going to get.
Alright. Oh, good.
So again, gently down on the clutch. And as we use the brake, just as we come to the end, just gently release a tiny bit of pressure and put on the handbrake. Take our gear.
That's handy. One of my mates, when I'm in this car, I get car sick.
So again, nice and smooth, nice gentle movement on the steering wheel, nothing rushed. Gentle acceleration. And you feel it should almost be like being on a flying carpet.
Yeah.
Nice gentle moves with the gear lever. You notice I'm holding the gear lever as well,
Yeah,
not
like
rushing
turning
it.
your hand.
That's right, it gives us control of the gear lever at all times, so there should be no danger of getting a wrong gear. Now if you notice, as I'm driving, I'm actually slowing up, but I'm not using the foot brake all the time, and I can do that by use of the accelerator. It's what we call acceleration sense. So as well as the accelerator allowing us to gain speed, we can use it to decrease speed.
Next one on the left. You notice you missed a gear out there.
Yeah, we can do that sometimes. That's called block changing.
Fox one right on the right. You seem to be steering a different way to everybody else.
Well, this is called the push-pull method, which gives us good control of the steering,
Next left.
not rushed. Some people will cross the hands. This is a much more controlled method of doing things, and a lot safer because of the airbag that's installed in the centre of the wheel, which I'll go through in a bit more detail.
Right, okay.
So again, coming up to quite a sharp corner, so I'm just bringing down the speed using the brake, taking a lower gear. But again, all nice and smooth and controlled, nothing rushed.
Second road on the right. This one's the first.
If you look at how I'm using the indicator stalk, it's nice and gently with my fingertips.
You don't like taking your hand off the wheel or anything?
He's moment, try and keep your hands on the wheel at all times, other than obviously when you're making an actual gear change where you've no choice but to take your hand off the wheel.
I won't find the convenient place to pull over on the left.
Should pull back there.
And out of roll, you don't need somebody like him, do you? Half-wit, honestly. Where did he think you were going to go? Anyway,
That'd be interesting. How would you do that?
I'd have done what you did. I wouldn't have committed to doing that because he didn't look like he knew what he was doing.
Because my thought on that was, he's going to come and meet us.
Yeah, but you planned the situation. He just sat there with his brain in neutral and his finger up his bum, basically. No, sorry, that's not true. It was a good driver on a bad day.
He wasn't sure what decision to take.
Yeah, you don't need that when you're in demonstration mode, do you? So tell me about the drive to here.
This is a bit I find it quite difficult.
Okay.
I'm trying to change from doing like a commentary I've been used to doing with you to trying to get the person sat in the passenger seat to watch what I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, I prompted you from within roll. The examiner won't do that. He'll just sit like a lemon. So I mean, I was prompting you about, well, I noticed it's very different to the way my friends drive. I noticed you're steering differently as well. Oh, I noticed you missed a gear out there. So that's the sort of thing. You're just about to tell me how to use the gears, so you can use the drive to demonstrate. What is it? Windy's day out. What?
Attack the ginger. Okay.
My word. That's interesting. Yes, well, the wind is there. So use the drive to demonstrate the things that you're just about to do. So it'd be useful to perhaps think about maybe setting that up and just doing short drives, just talking about the things that you're going to do. I mean, we can set that up so we can do it on every session that we do. But not bad though. Nice. It wasn't as over-talked as the last one, which is great, but perhaps we've gone a little bit too far the other way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so
it was nice and even, good delivery, lovely drive too, nice and smooth. You've got to make sure you get it right. So you pulled yourself about a couple of things that weren't at the level when you passed your part two.
Yeah, it was, because I'm thinking, what do they talk about here? While I'm thinking that, I've forgotten.
It's just practice. We've still got tons and tons of training time left, and we'll be right by the time we get there. It'll be fine. But how was that in relation to the last time you did it?
It felt better. I suppose what I should have done is get straight into the, almost a commentary, but the commentary. I'm doing this because I'm holding the gear lever this way. Yeah. Watch how I pull the handbrake up smoothly.
Obviously at the start I prompted you to by just staring out the window.
Yeah.
Because you didn't tell me to watch it. Watch what I'm doing here.
Well, I did originally when we were sat in the car park.
But we reset from there.
Yeah. Oh, I see, right, okay.
A different block now. Well, fair enough.
No, that's...
Yeah, so now if you just watch what I'm doing with the steering, watch how I'm changing gear here.
Because as soon as I pulled out, I was thinking...
Why is he looking out the window?
Come on.
Yeah, no, look in here. Oh, okay. It's not that the examiner is dumb, or it's not that he's playing a pupil who is stupid. What he's doing is he's testing your knowledge. So in order to test your knowledge, he can't show you that he has that knowledge, because that's how's that helping him to determine whether you've got it. So he just has to play a fairly passive role. Say, oh, I'm not sure, and he'll do stuff like, look at the window, watch what I'm doing here. All right, yeah. Do you know how you do that? No. Because if he says, oh yeah, I've got a bit of an idea. I mean, I gave you the, I know how to put a seatbelt on, because I think it would probably be ridiculous to pretend that you hadn't, but he might. He might say, no, I've never done it before. My dad, you ever adjusted a seat before? My dad didn't like me touching the stuff in his car. I mean, I've only ever been in my mate's car. He didn't like me adjusting anything.
So that's why I asked the question about the seatbelts.
Fine.
And watching what you did, put it on.
But the nice thing is you did watch that I did it properly. So I couldn't have caught you out by twisting, because I thought, well, there's no point in doing it because you're watching me, so I'll just do it properly.
I remember that.
Well, they're easy ones to do, and I think it's understanding that this is what the assessment is about. It's a test of your knowledge and your skills. So he has to play a fairly passive role, a learner. In this case, I've said at the start, I'm a beginner. I've got no idea about anything. Where the reality is people have been in cars, they've seen other people driving, so they really do have a level of knowledge. So if you try and imagine this guy as a real learner, it's going to mess with your head, because he's not going to behave like a real learner. Because real learners have life experience that they bring with it. Oh yeah, I know how to do that, yeah. Oh, I've been sat on the drive plane on my mate's car. Yeah, I've had a go on my mate's car down at the car park near the beach. Yeah, so I know about that. That's how real learners are. But this guy's out, nah, I haven't got a clue, no, don't know. And they're playing that role that way because that's how they assess you. So I think it's really important that we see clearly that that's what it's about. That it is just an assessment.
Which is fair enough, I suppose, because you are going to come across people that are in that position. So
it's very unusual, very unlikely that are you really going to get into a car with somebody who doesn't know what a handbrake and gears are? I've never had it ever. 28 years.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
So people go, oh yeah, accelerator, brake, clutch. Oh, steering, yeah, I know how that works. I've seen my mate do that. It's the handbrake, you know what that's for? Yeah, turning the car the other way. It's just like, you know. Yeah. So they do have experiences, but the whole thing behind the Part 3 exam is that it's set up to just be a bare bones test of your knowledge. And in order to test your knowledge, this guy has to be completely passive. You get some of the more experienced examiners maybe become a little bit more gentle with that, I feel like. They become more comfortable in their own skin, and if you start, trying different things, they'll go, okay, I'll run with that and see what happens. But if you read the examiner guidance, they must be passive. So that's the only way they can test your knowledge. Okay, tell me what you know about this. Show me what you know about this. Guide me. But I will need to be led, and I will behave as though I'm as dumb as a box of rocks.
Okay.
So, an improvement on last time? Do you feel more comfortable?
I think so. It needs some polish on
Sure.
the commentary bit, because I was tempted to go more onto a bit like when they approach the corner.
Yeah.
I'm slowing down and taking second gear or whatever.
That's the commentary mode that you've been in up till this point. Full detail about everything that you've done, which you do extremely well.
But I was also trying to demonstrate as well, because I've got to do that, watch how I'm doing, how I'm braking.
Yeah.
But is that overkill?
No. Watch how I'm using these pedals, because that's what you're just about to teach me. Watch how I'm palming the gear lever. Look at how I'm moving the steering wheel. Oh, right, okay. Look at how I'm using the indicators. And of course, I then prompted you to give me the extra bit. Oh, you're not taking your hand off the wheel. Notice I don't take my hand off the wheel when I'm using the indicators. I'm just using my fingertips that way, and that led you into that way I'm in full control. So it's just developing that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But very good though. Okay, back and roll, and we'll swap seats.
Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to change seats, and I'll talk you through the controls, what everything does,
All right,
what we need to do to get into a position where we'll be able to move the car off. Okay, but we'll go through all the full controls first. So before we get out of the car, just a few safety things. Obviously we need to release our seat belts.
All right.
I'll take the keys out at this point in time, just until you're fully familiar with all the controls. Safety, as regards getting in and out of the car, checks that we need to do. From your side, you'll need to just wait before you open the door. This is just what I'm going through.
All right.
Okay, so it could be, if someone was just walking past the car just then, you open the door, whack, straight in the face.
All right.
So we need to do a quick check over our shoulders. In your case, you need to look over your left shoulder. Just check that nobody's walking behind you. And obviously there may be somebody coming towards you. Okay, so we do a quick check, and then as we open the door, we open it carefully. Bear in mind, if weather conditions, it could be a windy day.
All right.
So if it's very windy, we might need to keep hold of the grab handle so that it's not blown open.
Right.
So likewise, as we get out of the car, keep hold of the door, and then we close it gently, and then we'll swap places, and I'll show you the correct way of getting into the car safely.
Oh, okay.
So check over your shoulder. So a quick look, keep hold of the door. That's it, keep hold of the door. Hold the door for me. That way as we walk around, wind's not going to blow it out.
All right.
So if you walk around towards the back of your car, face this way, so you come around the back of your car so you get in the driver's seat, having a look, you're going to the left, checking, walk up to the car, again taking a good hold of the door handle, have a check to your left and right, then get into the car, and again, hold on to the door and close it behind you.
Oh,
Okay. That way, keep it safe. Get through checks. Hold the door. Okay, just let it roll a second.
Okay.
Was that suitable?
You tell me how that felt.
I just maybe left it a bit late because I started to do the sort of safety thing before you'd open the door.
So, what was I going to do wrong that you stopped me doing?
Well, you're just going to launch out with, with that.
Okay, so you stopped me with that.
Yeah.
Now, thinking about that was, you know, in roll, was it alright for me to do that? Without looking?
No, which is why I was saying.
But I had actually looked. I had a good look in that mirror, and I'd had a good look in the door mirror. I knew there was nobody there before I did it, so the examiner's never going to do anything really unsafe. But you stopped me. Wait. Oh, damn. Then what did I do? There's a whole series of things I was going to do wrong that you stopped happening. Have a think about it. Tell me what they were.
Well, potentially you're just going to do that. Let the door
so you
fly open on its own.
Yeah. So you told me to keep a hold of the door. What happened then?
You need to close it.
I didn't keep hold of it, did I? So you had to remind me. And then when I got out of the car, I let go of the door again. You had to remind me again. I was about to walk away and leave the door open. You had to remind me to shut it. I was then going to walk around the front of the car, which, wait a minute, no, come this way.
Yeah.
All right, and I was just going to step out, and you stood in my path and stopped me. You explained why we're going around that way so that people could see us, and then there was no chance of me getting it wrong because you guided me in. And then when you'd finished doing that, I was going to walk around you, and you stopped me. You just positioned yourself to stop that happening. And then you kept an eye on it, keep a hold of the door because I was going to let go again. So you controlled that all the way around there, very gently, but you made it happen the way that it should have happened. So that is in effect what you'd have to do with somebody who had absolutely no idea what they were about.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Did I get away with any of them?
Don't think so.
Nope. No, well done. Excellent.
Good. Pleased with that. Right. So we'll work through the controls. I'll explain what all the bits and pieces do, all the different functions. Okay. So we'll start with the. Just one more. Got the sound before. Now this little booklet, this colour presenter, I'll use this. It's just a bit of a guide for myself.
Oh, okay.
And it just helps me demonstrate our use of visuals.
Oh, okay.
It'll be better than just listening to my voice. So firstly, we'll go through the cockpit drill, which I talked about before the setup.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So, can you remember the reason why we go through the cockpit drill? Can you remember what I said about that?
Was it so you could get everything set up?
That's it, yeah. So we need to set the car up so it's comfortable for you to drive, so you can operate the controls safely. And all the mirrors are set up so you can see what's happening around you.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a few checks you need to do as regards fuel and such as that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we've got into the car. Can you remember what the first thing is we checked?
No.
No. So we close the doors. Okay, so we need to check that both doors are closed.
All right.
If it's just yourself in the car, then obviously later on there's only be one door to check. But in this instance, we need to check that all the doors are closed. You may have passengers in the car. So can you remember what I did to check that?
No.
Okay. Well, if you look in your mirrors, down the side of the car, can you see the black rubbing strip that runs down the side of the car?
Oh, yeah.
Now at the moment, it's one continuous line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you see that? Well, if the door wasn't shut, I'll just demonstrate to you. Just do a check. Okay, can you see how there's like a little step in the thing there? And also you'll be able to hear it rattling. So we give a pull on the door to make sure it's closed. And we've got a nice clean line. Other things that might indicate that the door's not shut properly is the interior light. The interior light may come on.
All right. Okay.
And some cars actually have a warning sign on the dashboard now. There'll be a little symbol. It's a picture of the car, and it'll show like a little line showing that one of the doors is open.
Right.
So depending on the car, there's a number of ways you can check it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we've checked the doors. Okay. Now, have you ridden any sort of motorbike or bicycle before?
No.
Okay, not a problem. As well as the main doors, we also need to check that the boot's closed.
All right.
So if you'd had that open, you just make before we get in the car, we make sure that's closed. Just out of roll.
Okay.
Whilst that's on there, at what point would you check that? Because normally,
Well, what you can say is, I made sure it was shut, and it's not been opened since.
yeah.
But
Unless you physically put something in recently, then it's
on
again
this,
unless
on this car, there is a warning.
Yeah.
So when the ignition goes on, if it's open, it'll let you know.
yeah. So okay.
So just whilst we're at a row, so you've got that on your lap reading from it. There's a danger rack, and grab that from you and say, well, give us it here, I'll read it. I mean, the examiner here wouldn't do that, but use it for you both.
Yeah.
So show him as well as you.
So like that.
Yeah. So this is to show you. So it's not for you, it's for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Although the reality is, it is helping you.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna use it just on your, you may as well just have a clipboard with a little list.
Yeah.
That's okay too. Whichever works for you.
Okay.
But yeah, if you got it out, use it.
Okay. So we check the doors, and we need to check the boot. Now I know at this moment the boot is closed. I checked it earlier, but again, on some cars there may be a warning light on the dashboard. Again, through the picture of the car, and it'll show a line towards the back of the car indicating that the boot might be open. Okay. So we need to check everything's closed. So we've done that. Next thing we need to do is make sure you're comfortable to drive the car.
All right.
Now, to do that, we need to set the seat up for yourself.
Oh, okay.
So can you remember how I was setting it up for myself?
Oh, you were moving it around a bit.
That's right. So firstly, we can adjust the seat in a number of ways. We can move it backwards and forwards. We move the base of the seat backwards and forwards, so your legs in a comfortable position to use the clutch pedal. Okay. So if you try pressing down the clutch pedal, which is the lever on the foot pedal on the left. Now if you use your left leg with that.
All right.
Okay. Right. How does that feel? Just try lifting your. That looks a little bit awkward, as if you're hitting the steering wheel
A
there.
bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll move the seat back a bit. Now, if you put your hand under the seat, if you put your hand under the seat, there's a little adjuster bar. Can you feel it? Oh. Right. Just out of roll. So before I do that, obviously I need to tell you to grab
No,
all
that's
the.
fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah?
It hasn't gone right.
Okay.
Fix it. Back and roll.
Okay. So with the bar, we'll lift the bar up, and that releases a locking mechanism, and that allows the seat to move backwards and forwards. So if you pull up the lever and move it to a position that's comfortable for your leg, you might just pull yourself forward using the steering wheel. That'll help you. When you think you're at a suitable position, release the bar, and it'll lock into position.
All right.
Okay. So just try that a couple of times so you get yourself comfortable, so you can use the clutch pedal comfortably. Yeah, so you've still got a little bit of bend in your leg. Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay, right. We can also adjust the height of the seat on this particular car.
All right.
Not every car you can do it, but on this car you can. So that you've got a nice view out over the top of the steering wheel. So you've got nice vision in front of you.
Yeah, I think I have, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Now if you can just try putting your hands onto the steering wheel, sort of 10 to 2 position, like I was holding it. Yep. Just wrap your fingers around. That's it. Now, just take your hand to the top of the wheel. Okay. Now, how does that feel? Is that comfortable? Just try moving your hands around the wheel like that. Does that feel comfortable to you?
Maybe stretching a bit at the top.
Yeah. Okay. Now, we can adjust the steering wheel on this. If there's a little lever underneath the steering wheel, if you put your hand underneath the steering wheel, can you feel the little lever?
Oh, yeah.
If you pull that down, okay. Now, just try it, move it about, play with it. It'll move up and down, and you can also pull it inwards and pull it towards you and push it away from you. So if you set it up for a nice comfortable position, so you need to come out a little bit, I think. Let's try that. Put your hand on the top. Okay. And try feeding the wheel like I was doing. Does that feel comfortable? It looks as if it's a little bit low to me.
Is it? Oh, right.
So if you just want to readjust it and just move it up a little bit. Levers under the middle there, that's it. Lock it in position. How does that feel?
Oh, that's right. Well, I can see the clocks now.
Yep. Yeah, missed that bit. Okay. Now, we can also adjust the backrest so it's comfortable for you. So if you're happy with where your arms are.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But if you need to, if you put your hand, now then, you start a roll set. I'm not sure on this car. Is it a wheel?
No, knob, yeah.
Right. If you hand down to the right hand side of your seat, you'll see a little round knob.
Oh, yeah.
Or a nailed wheel. If you move that backwards and forwards, that adjusts your backrest.
Yeah.
So again,
yeah.
you can adjust that to get yourself a comfortable position.
Okay, that feels alright, yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Just put your arms out again and just see that. And just do that for me. Yeah, that looks comfortable. That looks comfortable. Okay. So, last thing we need to do is check your head restraint, which is at the back of your head here.
Alright.
Do you know what these are for? Another reason we have them. Some people refer to them as headrests, but that's not what it is. It's actually short for head restraint. So, in case we have an incident or an accident, and we're hit from behind, and it causes our bodies to move forward and then throws us back, it stops or reduces the risk of any neck injury.
Right.
Because it stops the neck flipping over the back of the seat. So it's important that the headrest is set up in a correct position. And ideally, if you have a look at this, the fattest part of the head restraint wants to be pretty much in line with the centre of your head. So if you go, just do a line on your ears and just hold it to the back of the head restraint. Okay, so on that one it could just do with being up a tiny bit.
Alright. Oh, yeah.
So you remember how I adjusted it for myself?
Yeah.
So you've got a little adjust to leave it there. So if you press that in and raise it. Okay, if you let go of the button, that should lock into place now. Okay.
Is that about right?
That looks about fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just start roll again because I don't know this car well enough. Is that as high as it'll go?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the trouble with some cars, isn't it? It's not always exactly where you want them. Okay, so we've got the seat set up comfortably, so you can use the steering wheel and the foot controls. Okay, so next we need to set up our mirrors. Why do you think we have mirrors?
So you can see what's behind?
That's right, yeah. We need, as well as having good forward vision, we need to know what's happening behind us at all times. Because by knowing what's happening behind us will allow you to make a judgment. You just watch what I'm doing, please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. By using the mirrors, being able to see what's happening around us, that gives you the opportunity. When you're planning a manoeuvre, you know what's happening behind you.
Right.
So that will dictate how you react to that manoeuvre you're going to carry out.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, what we have 3 mirrors. We've got passenger door mirror, interior mirror, and your driver's door mirror. Okay. Now, if we set up the interior mirror first, ideally, what you need to be able to see, so if you sit nice and straight as if you were driving, so what you need to be able to see through your mirror is, if you imagine that's the back window of the car, you want to be able to see as much as you can, almost as if it's in a square. If you can't see that, if you adjust it by holding the mirror by the corners, and that way you're not getting your fingerprints all over it and smudging it, okay? And you can move it around to the position that you need.
Oh, yeah.
So if you try that and set it up to...
Right, I can see all the window.
Is that set up correctly for you?
Yeah, I can see up. I can see both. I can see the top and the bottom of the window.
Yep. Can you see both sides?
Well, nearly have the head restraint in the back. I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see, yeah.
Look at that. Start a roll.
Go on.
How would I check that it's actually seen?
So have I got a clear view?
Yeah. So at this moment...
It's a bit dark.
Oh, yes, it's got... I didn't see that initially. Because mine's automatic. It's automatic on the course, isn't it?
Oh, that's better. The reality is, as it happened, you moved the mirror around like that and you put it in the position where it was doing. Oh, I'll use that.
I never gave it a thought about that at all.
Yeah, so that's it in the dim position. Like you see there. Either way around, because if you'd set it up that way, that's in the dim
I
position.
couldn't quite
Either
see
way.
that actually. From
So yeah, I can see clearly, but I can see, but oh, it's a bit dark. So can you see it as though it's daylight? No, it looks a bit like nighttime.
from here, I can't see the difference because where it's reflecting onto there, I don't see the difference of
But if you have a look, that's it set up properly.
Yeah.
What can you see?
Well, at the moment, I can sort of see this.
Okay. What can you see now?
Yeah, more of that.
Right, so there's a guide for you.
Right.
Again, knowing the car's a great help. The Corsa, of course, has an automatic one, so
Yeah. That's what threw me because mine's
it's old school, so I can't afford these new things. Okay, so there we go. Back and roll.
Okay. Right. So we've set up the interior mirror. So we've got a view straight behind us. And I don't know if you can notice it, but we've got two different types of mirror. The exterior mirrors on the doors, they're what's called convex.
Oh.
And what happens is, if you look on the diagram, on the actual mirror face, instead of it being flat, like that one is, it's got a little bit of a curve on it.
Right.
And what that allows to have is a better field of vision. If you look in that one, it's almost straight back, as you can see in that one. In the convex mirrors, it gives us a wider angle, so you can see more.
All right.
It gives you more vision. So if you look in your driver's side mirror, you probably have to see the sign on the bus stop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. If it was a flat mirror, you probably wouldn't be able to see that, because on the end of this particular mirror, and on this one, can you see the little black line
Oh yeah.
on the back end? That's even more curved, and that helps with overtaking. So if something's coming past you, someone's like this car in this picture's coming past you, that'll pick it up in the wide section.
Oh right.
It's coming alongside it, but we'll cover that a little bit more further on down the line.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so to set up the mirrors, ideally what you need to be able to see down each side of the car is sort of not quite a third of the mirror. Okay, so about that much of the car in this side of the mirror down here,
All right.
so you can see the edge of the car. Yeah. And then you need a good view of the pavement where we're sitting there, and you can see down to, well, you should be able to see way down to where the red car's parked.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, so you may need to adjust that. Okay, how's it set up for you at the moment?
I can see the red car.
Okay, just let it roll again.
Go on then.
Because this has got electric mirrors, we have to put the keys in ignition. So you have to take that out for safety at this moment.
Which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So if you left them in, I'd have started the engine by now.
Try to do that.
Back and roll.
But what would you do with that?
Well, you've given me a good guide, haven't you? A little piece of the side of the car and that red car. Does it look a bit like that? Yeah, it does actually.
So at this moment in time, we could leave it at that. But when we're ready to do the moving off, preparing the car.
Well, you can give me the key now.
Yeah.
But that's fine. By taking the key with you, all you're guarding against is me getting in while you're walking around and starting the engine.
Yeah.
Which I would probably do. Our examiner here tends not to be that quite that sneaky, but if they're there, it gives them the opportunity. So you just say, okay, we might need to adjust those. So just check what you can see. If you can see okay, the chances are they should need adjusting. Our examiner here is at least 6'2", probably 6'3".
Well, I say, because the difference between just you and me, so it's quite rare to jump in a car and the mirrors we set up for everybody. So could you leave that until...
You could, or you could do it now, whichever makes the most sense to you. I would probably do it now because there's a chance you might, if you're dealing with it at this point, because you're ticking things off on the list, if you don't deal with it now, you might forget.
Okay.
So just do with it now.
All right. So.
But again, just control me once the key's in my hand, the way you control me when I get out the car.
That's what I'm going to try and do. Okay.
Back and roll.
So we're going to set up the mirrors. But to do that, for this particular car, we need to have the ignition on.
All right.
And the ignition operates the electrics of the car, which allows certain functions to work.
Oh, I see. Right.
So
Okay.
it's a bit like a house. You need electric to run the lights.
Right.
We need that to move the mirrors on this
Okay,
car.
fair enough.
So what I'm going to do, in a minute I'm going to pass you the ignition key.
Okay.
And I want you to follow very closely my instructions.
All right.
And not to do anything else.
Okay.
I will cover the foot brake just in case you start the car by mistake. Okay?
Right.
What I don't want is just jolting forward. Okay. Just as a dry run, if you look on the side of the steering wheel, can you see the little lock?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's where the ignition key goes into.
All right.
And what will happen is it's on a two-stage movement. So I'll just demonstrate here without putting the key in.
I'll just come at a roll, just in case we use this car in test. As you look at the ignition switch on here, there's a 0, a 1, 2 and 3
Right.
on this car. So, and you can see it clearly from the end.
Okay.
So you can say to me, just turn it to number 1.
There'll be 2 for ignition.
Well, no, but 1 will give you the mirrors.
Oh, will it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should do. Let me just check my facts. No, it doesn't.
I know everything's different, isn't it? Because some cars will do it without. Oh, it's,
Bit of vehicle knowledge there.
yeah, no, that's fine. That's yeah. So when you put the key into the ignition, if you have a look on the side, there's actually some markings on it: 0, 1, 2, and 3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay. The 0 indicates that everything's switched off. The first position will allow certain functions to work, usually the radio. Okay. And it's saying just powering everything up. Position number 2, you'll see all the dashboard lights come on.
All right.
Okay, and you may see some other things move, which we'll cover. Now I don't want you to turn it any further than position 2.
Oh, okay.
Because when you get to position 3, that's what activates the starter. Okay,
right.
and we don't want to cover that at this moment in time.
Right.
So please just turn it to position number 2. Okay,
Yeah,
I will cover the foot brake just in case. Okay, now, just while they're on, do you see all the various warning lights that's on the dashboard?
Oh, some of them have gone off.
That's right, yeah. What they have is it's an inbuilt check system. Because everything's computerised these days, it does like a self-test. And usually the only ones that are left is like battery, your handbrake, and some warning lights relating to oil pressure. And then what will happen is when you start the engine, which we'll go through in more detail, those lights will go out. Okay, so take your hands away from the keys, that's fine. Now on your door pillar, sorry, in the door rest, you see the circular switch with the arrows?
Oh, this one, yeah.
Okay. Now, the little switch in the middle, it's got 3 positions. If you move it across to the right, that will now operate your driver's mirror. Now, using the arrows, it'll move it left or right or up or down.
Right.
So if you just have a little play with that, just get used to it. Okay. So if we'll set that one up first, as in the diagram, so we can see that little bit of the car down the side.
Alright.
Okay. When you're happy with that one,
Yeah, yeah.
now what about the near side mirror? Is that set up okay? If not, you just flick the switch across to your left. That will now operate this mirror.
Alright.
Yeah, just
let it roll back.
okay.
I mean, you can get out of there, but never mind. Back and roll.
Okay. So we're happy with how this one's positioned now.
Oh right, I can see a bit further down there. Yeah.
Okay. Be careful you don't get it too close into the car so that you've got too much of the car in the mirror.
I don't know, maybe a quarter to a third of the mirror is the side of the car.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So, if you put the switch back into the middle position, and then if you happen to catch it while you're driving, it's not going to alter you, because that's effectively switches it off for now. Okay.
Oh right, oh okay.
Okay, so just for now, if you can just switch off the ignition and hand me back the keys. Thank you. Okay. So I'm happy with the mirrors, and you understand the difference between the three mirrors
Yeah, yeah.
and why we use them?
Yeah.
Okay. So next, we cover the seatbelt in our cockpit drill, which you went through and you demonstrated that you could use very well. We need to wear seatbelts, it's the law. Okay. I don't know if you've looked up in your highway code yet, but if you're carrying passengers, do you know whose responsibility it is for people to wear the
Depends how
seatbelts?
old they are, doesn't it?
That's right. Now there is a cut-off age for which it's your responsibility.
14, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. So anyone under the age of 14,
Remember
and it's
that
your
from my
responsibility. Yeah, brilliant. But you've got a moral obligation as well, just to make sure before you set off that everyone's got the seatbelts on, especially rear passengers, because sometimes they can be in the back chatting and just forget to put them on. It's worth just reminding them. Okay. The last thing we want is a passenger in an incident heading towards the back of your seat. Because if they're unrestrained, it's a lot of weight. It's going to come back and hit us in the back of the seat.
Alright. So you're saying it'd be better if I just made sure everybody had it on?
Absolutely.
Alright. Well, would that be good practice?
Absolutely. Is that a roll? Yeah. Me doing that?
That's okay. That's fine.
No, I'm just thinking
That's
it
fine.
basically.
I'm not saying that as an invasion of space. It's not like you're reaching across here and. But I mean, I just added that within roll. So yeah, it's best practice because of what you've just said. You don't want them coming clattering into you if you're going to be in an accident. Whilst it's their responsibility, it's better that you check and it's better that you take care of safety as the driver. Then you know you're right, don't you? All right, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Back and roll.
Okay. So, if you can just pop your seatbelt on for me, please, Bob. I'll just watch. Remember what we said. Okay, now remember what we're looking for when we put the seatbelt on. We don't want any twists or anything in it.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's all right.
And you're happy with the position of the belt across your shoulder line here?
Yeah.
Shouldn't be cutting in.
No, that feels okay.
Okay. If you did need to adjust it, because different cars may have been set up for different height people.
All right.
On this particular car, if you looked at just over my shoulder, you see this button here?
Oh, yeah.
You can actually adjust the height of the seatbelt if you need to stop it cutting into your shoulder line.
Oh, that's clever, isn't it?
Because what you don't want is obviously annoying.
Oh, this one's all the way up. That feels all right though.
Yep, so it's resting nicely. That's fine. You've done a static check and it's nicely across your hips. Okay, not cutting into your belly, and we just need to make sure it's just firm against you, but not that it's choking you.
Oh, right.
Okay, so you're happy with that, and you've got free movement. Okay, and you've done a static check.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Is that all right? Yeah. It's all right. I just. Okay. Well, the final things we do on the cockpit drill is make sure we've got enough fuel for the journey.
Looks like it's empty.
It will at the moment because the fuel gauge, which it looks like you've already identified, which is this one here, it's got a little symbol of a petrol pump on it.
Oh, yeah.
On some cars it will register when the keys are out and it will show how much fuel's in the tank. But on this particular model, and quite a lot of models, you need to have the ignition switched on again.
Oh, I see. Right.
Okay, so again what we'll do, I'll pass you the keys, but again just put it to number 2 position. Okay, I'll just cover the foot brake just in case.
Just popping out a roll. What's the foot brake going to do?
I'm just guarding against it, you see, that's it.
How's that stop me starting it?
Well, sorry, against it moving.
It's in neutral.
Yeah, we could have knocked it in.
I could have done. The clutch is the one you want to use.
Right,
Back and roll. I meant to mention it before.
Right, okay. So I was thinking if you did that, if it was in gear, it wouldn't move in, would it?
Cover them both.
Yeah.
But yeah, the clutch is your safeguard there.
That's stiff.
Never been used in anger.
No, it is. Not like the Corsa one. Right, okay. I mean, is that overkill?
No, guard against it. No wrong with that.
Okay.
I'll just make sure it's in neutral before you hand him the key. Either way.
Yeah. Okay.
He isn't going to, do anything.
I know he's not going to put you into danger, but I've got to preempt, a bit like the door thing, where if you don't know, potentially you're going to...
What I did there to maintain consistency within roll, because you've done that before and kept me under control, when you hand away the key, I said just a number 2 again. So I'm going to comply.
Right. And that's what the examiner does.
Yeah, he will do that.
Okay. But even with that, I'm still...
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Belt and braces.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And with real live learners, because sometimes they're just excited.
Yeah, that's...
Yay, brum, whoa!
Okay, so we've got the ignition on, and we can see now that the needle has moved up a little bit on the gauge.
Oh,
we're showing we've got about a quarter of a tank of fuel at the moment.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of between a quarter and a half.
That's right. So for this particular lesson, we know we've got plenty of fuel.
Oh, right.
It's always worthwhile checking before you go on any journey. What you don't want to do is run out before you get to a filling station.
No, that wouldn't be good, would it?
So try and keep it at least around the quarter mark wherever possible.
Okay.
Obviously, red will indicate when you're getting low, and on some vehicles it will actually come up on the display telling you how many miles you've got left worth of fuel.
Right. Oh, this one says 186.
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. That's,
right.
Yeah, the little arrow to the fuel pump, so it's saying that's how long you've got to fill up.
All right.
That will depend on how the car's being driven, because obviously if you're doing a lot of town work, you're going to use more fuel because you're going through more gears.
Oh, okay.
But we'll cover that in a bit more detail.
All right.
Okay. But not every car's got that, but certainly check the gauge to make sure you've got sufficient fuel.
Okay.
Okay, so if we just switch the ignition off just for now.
Do you want the key back again?
Yes, I will, please. Thank you.
Okay, so it's an opportune moment to come out of wrong. Tell me how that went.
Oh, was one thing. I wrote it in here as well. How much detail would you give on that? Because I just put a note on here, like the Mini we've got now doesn't have a gauge, it has little graduated lights.
I think it's enough just to say that, make sure
you just work on the car you're dealing with.
All cars are different. Familiarise yourself with your own car or a car that you're going to drive.
That
should cover it.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't quite flow perfectly.
Did it flow better than last time?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it was more structured and I sort of covered everything the right way. This helped by focusing where I needed to be.
Yeah. That's good, and it's great. It's a great aid memoir for you, but make sure you're using it as a. Otherwise, you may as well just have a tick list on it. Thing. So, have we covered everything there in the detail that we need? Have I got away with anything?
No, I don't think so.
My door ain't shut. You got me to check yours. Oh yeah. Does yours look like that? Oh no.
I know, when you got in the car, I heard it go click, and I thought, I must ask you about that.
Yeah, result. That's fine. So if you look at if the examiner's marking the sheet, what's he going to mark? He's probably going to mark doors as unsatisfactory. But that's only one out of the whole thing. So on balance, you're probably going to be all right. And you have demonstrated and got me to understand. But just ask the question. And does yours look like that? Oh no. All right. But other than that, much better than last time. Much better.
I thought I'd ask the question though, if you look down the side of the car, is it one long straight line?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I thought I'd look closer then, okay.
So you draw my attention to demonstrate it, which was great. And oh, yeah. How's yours? I don't look like that, no. Mine's got a kink in it. Right. That's a very minor point. I mean, but
it's so...
You'll notice on the video, you coughed less as you went on. You got into your stride.
Right.
No, it's good.
That certainly helped because I didn't use that last time, did I?
No. It's either that or any kind of aid memoir that just makes sure you're ticking things off. So if it's a list on a clipboard, if you've got a sticker on it, it really doesn't matter.
So I think as well with the mirrors, that helped.
Okay.
It was explaining how to...
So I mean, this is great, but just make sure that otherwise you run the risk of me saying, well, give us it here. I'll read the damn thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this examiner here wouldn't do that, but I've known examiners in the past that would have just taken it out, give us it here, and I'll read it then.
So I think,
you're going to instruct me, you're going to read from that.
So sort of the seatbelt and what have you. Well, the seatbelt, there's not really much you can show, I suppose, is there?
Well, it's...
So I think I did find myself wandering back this way a little bit.
A little, but I could still see it, and you were still... You still reminded yourself from time to time and offered it up. So it's just get used to using it in that position rather than reading from it, and that'll be fine.
Okay.
got a much more flow to it than the last time we did it, which is great. And I think from the chat we had when we had the cup of tea before we started, that's what you were after today, wasn't it? Really, just to recap and see, okay, where am I at? The thinking and the work that I've done on it, is it working?
Yeah.
It certainly seems to have.
Because that's the major thing, being able to put it across. Because I've been looking at this, I've been looking at the videos, looking at our video, thinking, right, I've got to try and make it smoother, a bit snappier.
Looking at our video, you make it sound like we're married. Is that our song? No, it's I'm only kidding, I'm sorry. It's sometimes I can't help myself. It's a definite improvement from last time. That really flowed in a nice way. And it's nice that we're using this one because it's just all you, isn't it? It's just all you talking.
And that I think part of the thing where if I can nail this one, hopefully all the other ones should be a lot easier.
I suspect you're right. And
I think it comes back to when I did the commentary drive, because as I said, even now I'm still never 100% happy with commentary drives because I always want to get it right, get that detail and all the relevant bits. And I think certainly this has helped me make it flow. It's more structured, whereas last time I was a bit all over the place and just waffling.
It was still okay though. It was still all right. It was just not as slick. It wasn't as polished as today has been. And the next time you do it, it'll be even more polished. Yeah. So I think it. Thinking about it and reflecting myself here, that this was a good one to start with today. Because if we get this one sort of nailed down, there's a lot of work you can do on your own then with the other briefs.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking, because and that's why I said in the last time that I want to get these first two covered off, because if I can get this bit right and the moving off and stopping correct, where you've got the control of the vehicle, then hopefully the other bits should be a little bit easier to manage.
Okay, let's go.
That's my theory.
Let's drop back in a roll and finish this one off then.
Okay.
I mean, obviously that's longer than it would be in reality, but we've been in and out of roll, so.
Yeah. I mean, what we've been doing just
you started from that seat at 27, so that was 34 minutes ago.
Right, so not too bad.
No, not too bad at all.
But
we've been in and out of roll a lot.
That's only covers the cockpit drill.
Now then, you don't have to get to the end of this. Quite often, it'll run so that you're never going to complete the full cockpit drill or all of the controls. You know, you might not get to this, but you might just do the foot controls, then you're over. You'll just say that concludes phase one. If you haven't covered the stuff at the bottom, as long as he's happy with the stuff that's above, you just put a line through it. That wasn't tested, and you're better off not getting to the end than getting to the end too early, because if you get to the end too early, you're now getting on to moving off and stopping. And if he's not ready to do that, you're in trouble now. And I saw that on a part 3 exam recently. I sat in the back and the guy was talking at the speed light. We got the end. He was like, right, do you want to move on to moving off and stopping? Oh, I don't know. So okay, well, we're at that now. Let's get on with it. And it was a mess because the guy's not ready for it. And he wanted more detail on the controls, but he just wasn't getting it.
And that's the thing, because like I say, if it's somebody that's never sat in that seat,
if he wants to get to moving off and stopping, the answer to the question when you ask me if I've ridden a bike or ridden a motorbike would be yeah. Yeah, I have, yeah. So these controls are a bit like the ones on my motorbike then, is that what you're saying? Yeah, that's right, yeah. Okay, so you quickly go through it and then you get to moving off and stopping. I don't think you'll get that here because of the way the thing's set up. Kenton Bar at Newcastle, the guy that was the examiner at the Arthur store, used to like to get to moving off and stopping, and he wasn't a complete beginner because you were in traffic all the time. You had to get on, you had to get out of the way. But you've played it the way you've asked the question, and you've played it the way it should be played. So I needed this level of detail. That's fine. You told me what they are, how I use them, and why I do it. That's why we're doing things is important too. Okay, back and roll. Flip the page, and then when you've done that bit, I'll treat you to a cup of tea.
Okay. Okay. Now we're going to cover the foot controls.
All right.
And explain to you what each pedal does, its function, and how we use them. Okay, so if we look down on the steering column, which is down here, you've got 3 pedals.
Oh yeah.
And working from left to right. First pedal, which you've had a go at already, is pressing down as the clutch pedal.
All right.
Okay, so we use that one just with our left leg.
All right, yeah.
Okay, the centre pedal is the brake pedal. Okay, and then the one to your right, the end pedal, that's called the accelerator.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the brake and the accelerator we use just with our right foot, clutch with the left. Okay,
Yeah.
right. Now, accelerator, or gas pedal, as we'll refer to it from now, that controls the speed of the vehicle. And
Oh, you mentioned that on the way here.
yeah, so the faster we want to go, we press the pedal, that puts more fuel into the engine and allows the vehicle to go faster. Okay, but as I explained, we can also use it to slow the vehicle down.
Acceleration something or other.
Acceleration sense, that's
Oh,
it.
that was it, yeah.
Well remembered, yeah. So if you just press on that pedal, so it's the right hand pedal, use your foot, okay.
It goes down easy.
It goes down very easily, okay. Now you compare that to how you use the clutch pedal, it's got a different feel to it, a different weight to it altogether, hasn't it? Can you feel the difference?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's quite springy, that one.
it is, yes. Now, with the clutch pedal, hang on, just back up, concentrate on the accelerator first. Right, so what we need to do when we use the accelerator pedal, we treat it very gently. We touch it very delicately. So just very light pressure onto it. And most of the time, it'll be just gentle pressure onto it as the pedal moves slowly away from us. And then as we want to decrease speed, we just take the pressure off our foot and you'll feel it springing back.
Right.
Okay. Now normally, we're doing just very gentle inputs like that. We wouldn't be pressing it right to the floor like you just tried there, but that's
right.
fine because you're just getting used to the feel of it.
All right,
Okay.
so just a bit like that.
So just nice and gently, yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you just gently press it down, so halfway, and then just get used to the feel of the spring, and then just gently ease off.
It's very light, isn't it?
It is very light, yeah. So again, you need to be very light when using it. So
Okay.
as you noticed when I was driving, everything was nice and smooth.
Yeah.
Now had I pressed really hard and lifted off very quickly, you'd have got that jolting effect.
Right.
But because we do it nice and smoothly,
That's what my mate does when he's driving.
that's it. And it's just how the controls are used.
All right.
Okay. So you're happy with what the accelerator does?
Yeah.
And how gently we need to use it?
Yeah, I
Excellent.
think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got that.
Right, we'll move on to the brake pedal now, which is the centre pedal. Okay. Now again, we use our right foot to control that. So if you just press on the pedal at the moment,
Well, that's
now if
quite
you
hard.
notice that only goes down sort of halfway,
about
doesn't
that
it?
much, yeah.
And it's a lot stiffer.
Yeah.
Now, what the brake pedal does, that slows the vehicle down by brakes which are fitted to all four wheels. And on the brake pedal, that operates on all four wheels.
Oh.
Okay. So as you press down on the pedal, very simply, fluid gets pushed through a pipe system to operate the brakes, which is located on the wheels, and will bring the vehicle to slow down or to stop. Okay.
All right.
So again, like the accelerator, we use smooth inputs. Okay.
Okay.
So again, if you notice how when I was driving, everything was nice and smooth.
Yeah, it was,
And
yeah.
what we do, we use a method that's called progressive. So as you initially press down on the pedal, you start pressing it gently, and then we put a bit firmer pressure on, and as the car gets down to the speed that you require, or you may even be stopping, once we get to that point, then we just ease off the pressure a little bit off the pedal.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah. Okay, and that'll bring the vehicle to either reduce the speed you need or bring it to a nice smooth stop.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Now, for the brake pedal and accelerator, because we're using the same foot, I'll demonstrate on my side if you can see the two pedals.
Oh, yeah.
So just for the purposes of this, if you can imagine that's the accelerator and that's the brake, the heel of your foot needs to be sort of in the middle of the two pedals. You see here, I'll show you in the diagram. So if that's your accelerator and that's your brake, the heel needs to be in the middle. And what you need to be able to do is move between the two pedals. You can do that.
Yeah.
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 And then you're using the ball of your foot, you can see on here, and that's what you're going to control your pedals with.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it needs to be comfortable. Yeah, when you're
feels
doing
all right,
it. Yeah, and that's great. And again, key to everything, smoothness.
Right.
So nothing rushed, nice and gently onto the pedals. So again, I'll just demonstrate to you as if you're pressing the brake pedal, nice and gentle, progressive, firm, and then as we come off, it just comes off easy. We're not stabbing.
All right.
Everything's got to be nice and gentle.
Okay.
Okay. So are you happy with that?
I have to tell my mate about that because he's rough.
You'll be able to show him. So, you're happy with how the accelerator and the brake pedal work?
Yeah.
We're using our right foot for that. Okay. So finally we come back to the clutch pedal, which you've had to go up pressing. Now the clutch pedal allows the vehicle to engage the drive to make it move. So if we look at this diagram, what we've got, obviously we've got an engine in the car, and between the gearbox, which is here, and the engine, we have two plates that move around. So when the engine started, two plates are moving around. Now, the car will move when it's in gear when the two plates are together. Okay, but when we're stationary and we want to set off, we need to press the clutch down so we can get it into gear. So when you press the clutch pedal down, if you press it down right to the floor, what happens is these two plates open up. Okay, so it's separated now, the engine's still running, but we've got no drive. When we lift the clutch up, and if you remember when I showed you as I set off, it was nice and smooth, nice and gently.
Yeah.
The plates come together, so they're sort of doing this. And once they come together, that allows the power from the engine to go to the gearbox, and that's what enables the car to move.
Okay.
But again, like all the other controls, it'll be nice and smooth. So I'll just demonstrate on here. Can you see what I'm doing with my foot? So I press the pedal right to the floor.
Yeah.
And when I want to set off, nice and smooth, nice and gently, and then we take the pedal off. Nothing rushed, all nice and gentle use of the control. But we'll cover that in a bit more detail when we do the actual
All right.
moving away and stopping. Okay. It's important as well to remember when we start doing the actual driving, that if we were to do things roughly and not controlled, especially if it was on a wet day, there's a risk of making the vehicle skid, which you don't want.
No.
So it's important we do everything smoothly. Okay. Obviously, once we get the vehicle moving, the main function of the clutch is to allow us to change gear. Okay. So we'll go through the gearbox in a bit more detail, but as I was making gear changes, you notice when I was moving this lever, which is for the gearbox, when I'm moving between gears, we need to press the clutch down, which disengages the engine and the gearbox, allows us to change into a higher gear, and then we have to connect that drive back up again to keep the vehicle moving. So we're using the clutch pedal for that function.
Right.
Okay. We'll cover that again in a bit more detail. Okay. So you're happy with the feel of the clutch? Yeah. It needs to be used nice and steadily.
It's the smooth, you said.
Yeah. Always gentle. Okay. Okay. Just realised something I missed. Start roll. And brake lights.
That's fine. As long as you get it in.
Yeah. So just going back to the brake pedal. What I forgot to tell you is when we use the brake pedal, when pressure's applied, it will also bring on the brake lights. You've probably seen the red lights on the back of a car.
I've seen those, yeah.
And that's an indication to vehicles behind that you're either slowing down or you're going to stop. So when you press the pedal, the red lights will illuminate at the back of the car, like that. Okay. Okay. Not wrong.
Go on then. Analyse that for me.
A little bit jigsawy, but I think I got everything in.
Jigsaw. I like that.
All the bits were there, but
okay.
a bit like Eric Morecambe.
But again, you're not necessarily the right order.
I was sure to mention that. Or was that too early on?
No, you're going to be mentioning it. It fits in with your progressive use, doesn't it? You know, if you're braking hard, you're throwing the weight of the car forward, which makes the car unstable. And I've already sort of given you a little bit of an in there, so I get car sick when I'm in my mate's car. That's because he's using it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably jiggling you around a lot, is he? Oh yeah. That's because when you brake hard, so he's brake gas. It makes people feel sick because you've got this motion rocking all the time. It's almost like seasickness.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It doesn't matter if you do it, if you don't. Again, it's flying nice, isn't it? Better than it was. Much improved. You're becoming comfortable in your own skin. And the easy way for me to gauge it is coughing less. You'll see it when you watch
On
the
a
video.
coughometer.
Yeah. Okay, flip the page over and we'll finish the job off.
Coughometer. Okay, Bob, now we're going to cover the hand controls. And that covers the steering wheel, indicators, and the use of the gear lever. Okay, so first off, we'll look at the steering wheel. Now, you set the seat up, so the steering wheel's comfortable for use. Okay, and when I was doing my demonstration drive, I mentioned that I do a push-pull technique for steering.
Like shuffly.
Yeah. Sometimes I think we call it a shuffle method in America, but we call it pull-push.
All right.
Now, you can either, depending on the steering wheel, but on this car, it's suitable to hold the wheel at the 10 to 2 position.
All right.
So that's as shown in the diagram there.
I'll hit that.
Yeah. Now, in some cars, depending on how this is configured, it may be a slightly different shape. It might be more comfortable to be in a 4 to 3 position.
All right.
So it's quite dependent. Some cars like this, it is moulded almost to show you the best place, the most comfortable place to hold the steering wheel. But for this car, 10 to 2 is quite suitable. And we use this method because it gives you really good control of the car at all times. Excuse me, at any speed. Okay. And there's a safety reason to it as well.
All right.
Okay. Now, in the centre of the steering wheel, you can see that little badge there that says airbag.
Yeah.
Do you know what an airbag is?
It goes off if you have accident, doesn't it?
That's right, yeah. So, the reason we use the pull-push method for safety, if you were in a collision and you were actually in a steering manoeuvre, the last thing you want is your hands crossed. Because you're saying your pal crosses his hands?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. So if you imagine in that position, if the airbag was to go off, his arms are just going to get thrown straight into his face. And like I've got a watch on, that goes into your face at about 100 odd miles an hour. These things come out at.
That's not very good, is it?
It's going to cause you a lot of pain. So better control, and there's a safety reason for it as well.
Okay, fair enough.
So now we use the steering wheel. Obviously at the moment we're not driving, so we'll just do a rough demonstration just by, if you put your hands on the wheel at 10 to 2 position, and what we do is what's called pull push. So if we were turning to the right, we'd pull down with the right hand and we'd slide the left hand down. So if you can try that, just imagine that you're pulling down with your right hand.
Well, not actually move it.
Yeah. And then you'd slide down your left hand to the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. And as the wheel comes round, then you push up with your left hand, and then your right hand would slide up. So if you just sort of get used to that sort of feel, and that's how we control the vehicle. Okay. We'll cover that in more detail when we actually do the movement. But that gives you nice control of the vehicle.
Right you go.
Never rushed, because that way, as potentially as you're saying about your pal, if he's rushing about like this, crossing his arms, there is a danger that the wheel could slip out of his hands.
All right.
And on a junction or a corner, that's the last thing you want to happen.
Okay, yeah.
So always important. Our steering wheel does control the direction of the car. So if we're wanting to go to the right, we pull down to make the vehicle turn right. So we can see here. So as we pull down on the steering wheel on the right hand, and that actually turns the front wheels to the right, and that allows the car to steer around that way. And likewise, if we want to go left, we pull down on the left. Okay. So you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Right, indicators. What do you think the purpose of indicators are?
Well, it's let people know where you're going, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
People don't bother now, though, do they?
Not always. It's good practice to indicate, to let people, if there's people about, it's going to benefit from it, so that they know what your intentions are and where you're going.
Yeah.
It's a warning to them. Okay. Like everything else, there is a way of using the indicator controls. Now on this car, the indicator control is located on the left-hand side of the steering column.
Yeah.
Okay, and every car the symbol is the same. Can you see the two arrows here? That denotes that's the indicator stroke for left and right.
Oh, okay.
Some vehicles, the indicator stroke can be on the right-hand side of the column, but it would have the same markings on it.
All right, right. So you'd be able to tell what it was.
Yeah, exactly. So, with your hands on the steering wheel, okay, if you on your left hand, sorry.
Yeah.
So, if you gently press down on the lever, so if we do it, may I just demonstrate to you?
Yeah, yeah.
So, just using the sort of tips of your fingers, gently press down on the lever, you'll feel two position. And make sure it goes all the way down, and that'll bring on the left-hand indicator. Okay, so when we do that, the orange lights on the outside of the car, the indicator lights will be illuminated, they will flash, and also we'll have a warning light on the dashboard here, a green warning light.
I see the arrow,
Yep, and that will flash, and you'll also, depending on the car, sometimes you'll either get a bleep or a clicking noise, so you'll get an audible signal as well as a visual signal.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because sometimes if it hasn't cancelled, you need to switch it off. It's a reminder. Sometimes, especially in bright sunlight, you may not see the warning light.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If we're doing the right-hand turn, again, with our hand on the steering wheel, gently with the fingertips underneath the lever, and just gently push it up.
Yeah, I noticed when you were doing that drive when you did that. Yeah.
Yep. Now, when you've done a manoeuvre, depending how much you're turning the steering wheel, it has a cancelling system. So as the steering wheel comes back, there's a little device inside which actually knocks that off automatically. But it does depend on how much steering you've got.
Right.
So it might just be that if you're just making a slight deviation, you've manually got to switch it off. Okay, so again, that's why we need to check that the warning lights have gone out and just listen out for it.
What's that noise?
Hang on. I'm guessing this because it's not my car. Does your parking light come on?
They do,
Yeah.
Back and roll.
Do I need to explain that?
No, that's fine.
Right.
It's just
I was going to ask you actually.
the point I made is whatever the car is you use for test, you need to know what's in it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna go.
Well, I'm sort of used to the course, you see. So.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
I'm only playing. Back and roll.
So yeah. So if you just want to just demonstrate that for me, both hands on the wheel, and do left. Yeah. That's it. Okay. And what would we be looking for, just in case it hadn't cancelled? How
the lights.
Yeah.
Said.
And
the noise.
The noise. Excellent. Okay, happy with that. Okay, next we come on to the gears.
Right.
Okay. Some cars, well, all cars are slightly different. Most modern cars have what's called a 5-speed gearbox.
All right.
This particular one has a 6-speed.
All right.
Some older cars might only have 4. But most cars that are around today will have 5. But on top of the gear lever, which is what this little stick is here, there's usually a diagram showing you how many gears are in the gearbox.
All right. See, it says 6. Yeah.
And the R denotes a reverse gear.
All right.
Okay. Now, as with everything, there's a particular way to use the gear lever correctly. Just that roll a sec.
Go.
Do we go through explaining what each gear does? For high speed, low speed?
You could, but if you have a think about it, you know, you demonstrated on the way here, so you could perhaps chat about that during your demonstration. I'm going to use first gear because we need to get all the car's weight to move. We're going to need a lot of power, so I use first. First has the most power. As we're moving along, I'm going up the gears because we need less power and more speed. So you could link that into your demo at the start.
Okay.
In which case, then I should then go, oh yeah, remember that, your demo. Which is what I just give you a little reminder of, oh yeah, you showed me that on the way here. So I always link back to the demo that you've given. Remember how I was using the indicators? Oh yeah, you just did it like that. Do you want to try that? Oh yeah. So if you do a really good demo, then you can link back to it, and it should help to make things flow. Because he should play the game.
So rather than me saying, well, this is how you do it, then you have a go.
Remember how I did it, yeah? Do you want to have a go at that? He might go, oh, I don't know, but he might.
And just
he
put
might
that
not.
bit out.
I didn't, as it happened. I did it just to throw you and see what you would do. But that's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, you could go through that. But we'll assume that you didn't do that as part of your brief, so that we fill it all in.
Okay.
back and roll.
Okay, so we have a gear lever. On this car we've got a 6-speed gearbox. The numbers numerically from 1 to 6 denotes 1's a lower gear.
All right.
Number 6 is the highest gear.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so when we're setting off, we use first to get the vehicle moving, and then as we progress in speed, we work our way through the gearbox. And that's all dependent on traffic conditions.
All
So
right.
while we're moving around in town, we tend to get up to sort of 3rd, possibly 4th, depending on the conditions.
All right.
Certainly wouldn't be expecting to get into 6th gear in a town situation.
All right.
So that's a high gear for high speed cruising on a
All right.
motorway,